Welcome back, dear viewers. That old Jefferson nickel in your change might be worth more than you think. One tiny error, one odd strike, or one unusual detail can turn a common coin into a serious collector target. Check your car seats, bank rolls, and coin jars now, and subscribe for more hidden coin finds before you miss the next one. Let's get started. A 1961 D. Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that looks too ordinary to matter. And that's exactly why it makes such a strong viral coin story. It has the familiar American inscriptions: "In God We Trust," "Liberty," "E Pluribus Unum," "Monticello," 5 cents, "United States of America," and a small D mint mark that most people never notice. But in coin collecting, tiny details are where big surprises begin. The real hook is not that every 1961 D nickel is worth a fortune. The hook is that the right 1961 D, with the right condition or a real mint-made error, can stand out in a way most people never expect from a 5-cent coin. What makes this coin different from many modern nickels is its place in a much earlier part of the Jefferson series, before the late modern era and before people casually ignored every nickel they saw. A 1961 D nickel came from the Denver Mint at a time when U.S. coins were still heavily used in everyday life, and many of them spent decades getting knocked around in circulation. That means truly attractive survivors matter more than people realize. Even though the date itself is not a legendary rarity, the coin carries age, history, and collector familiarity, which makes it exactly the kind of piece people save once they notice it. The biggest hidden value angle with a 1961 D. Jefferson nickel is condition, especially strike quality and surface preservation. A lot of examples exist, but far fewer remain with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and sharply defined details on both Jefferson and Monticello. Collectors pay close attention to the reverse steps of Monticello, because better struck examples with stronger step detail are often more desirable than weakly struck pieces. This gives your script a powerful collector secret feel. Two coins with the same date and mint mark can live in totally different value worlds, simply because one was made and preserved better than the other. Now bring the audience into the coin itself. On the obverse, Jefferson's portrait tells the wearer's story quickly through the cheek, jawline, and hair detail. On the reverse, Monticello is where the serious checking begins. The lettering in Monticello and 5 cents should look clear and even, and the overall building detail should not be washed out if the coin is stronger. This is also where you can create suspense around bad-looking coins without misleading people. A coin can look dark, old, or dull and still be collectible if the surfaces are natural. But a cleaned coin, a polished coin, or a chemically damaged coin may look bright and still be less desirable. That reversal is what keeps viewers watching. The real excitement begins when you mention mint errors and unusual varieties, because this is where a common nickel can become an actual collector target. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-through errors, and die cracks can all create coins that look wrong in ways collectors pay attention to. Raised cracks, missing design sections caused during striking, or obvious shape changes are far more important than random scratches or stains. And that's the key message for audience trust. Not every weird coin is valuable, but every truly mint-made oddity deserves a closer look. That line keeps the treasure hunt feeling alive without turning into empty hype. A strong viral detail to emphasize is the difference between age and rarity. Many people assume that because a 1961 D coin feels old, it must automatically be valuable, but the market doesn't work that way. The average circulated example is often modest in value, while the standout examples are the ones with exceptional eye appeal, strong strikes, original surfaces, or dramatic mint-made errors. That makes the hunt more exciting, not less, because it means the answer is not just in the date. It is in the details. And the details are exactly where casual viewers become serious coin hunters. The best closing message for a coin like this is simple and powerful. Don't spend a 1961 D. Jefferson nickel until you've checked it like a collector. Look at the mint mark, study Jefferson's portrait, inspect Monticello under strong light, and pay attention to anything that looks raised, shifted, or missing in a way that suggests a true minting issue. Most will be normal, but the few that rise above face value do so, because someone took the time to notice what everyone else missed. And that is what makes this coin so compelling for a video. Because the biggest stories in coin collecting often begin with the smallest coins. Thanks for watching, and don't skip video because the next coin most powerful story for you, and don't forget that subscribe to my channel. Next up. A 1977 D. Jefferson nickel is the kind of coin people almost never stop to question. And that's exactly why it makes such a powerful hidden value story. It carries the familiar words, "In God we trust, liberty, e pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America." Yet to most people it still feels like nothing more than small change. That contrast is where the excitement lives. In coin collecting, the biggest surprises often come from the coins nobody bothers to inspect, because value does not always come from age alone. It comes from the right date, the right strike, the right preservation, and sometimes the right mistake made at the mint. The D Mint mark is the first real clue, because it tells you this nickel was struck at the Denver Mint. That little letter might seem unimportant, but in the collector world, it's the difference between one issue and another. A normal 1977 D nickel is common, and most circulated examples are worth face value. But collectors never chase normal. They chase the version of the coin that survived better, looks sharper, or came out wrong in a way that can be proven. That's what makes the coin interesting on camera. You're not promising that every 1977 D nickel is valuable. You're revealing that the valuable ones are the exceptions hiding inside a sea of ordinary ones. What makes a 1977 D different from a much newer nickel is its place in the late 20th century circulation era, when coins were used hard and often overlooked. These nickels lived in pockets, registers, vending machines, coat linings, and car ashtrays for decades, and most of them show that history clearly. That means a truly attractive survivor can feel surprisingly special. If the coin still has better detail, cleaner fields, and original luster under light, it begins to separate itself from the average. That's the collector angle that works so well in a viral script. Old enough to feel real, common enough that people might actually own one, and rare enough in top condition to create suspense. Now bring the audience right up to the coin and make the details feel cinematic. On the front, Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair reveal the story of wear almost instantly. On the back, Monticello becomes the real test. The lettering should be clear. The building lines should not look totally washed out, and the steps area becomes one of those collector secret zones viewers love to hear about. Stronger strikes often hold more definition there, and higher-end collectors notice details like that. The moment you tell people that not all nickels were struck equally well, you change the way they look at every coin in their jar. A 1977 D nickel becomes especially exciting when you shift the story from age to errors, because that's where pocket change can actually turn into a collector discussion. Off-center strikes can make the whole design shift, leaving blank space where metal should have been fully struck. Broad strikes can alter the rim and make the coin appear spread. Clipped planchettes can create a smooth, curved section missing from the edge. Strike-through errors can leave missing or distorted details if grease or debris interfered during the strike. Die cracks and cuds create raised lines or lumps that are part of the metal itself. These are the kinds of things that make viewers stop, zoom in, and suddenly wonder whether their junk nickel deserves another look. The strongest part of a serious script is the warning that not every strange coin is a treasure. Many 1977 D nickels that look odd are simply damaged after leaving the mint. Scratches, flattening, chemical stains, heat exposure, and circulation wear can all create dramatic-looking surfaces that do not add collector value. Machine doubling is another classic trap, because it can mimic valuable doubling while really just creating a flat, shelf-like effect. A true mint-made variety usually looks stronger, cleaner, and more consistent than accidental wear. This distinction is what gives your video credibility, because you're helping people avoid wishful mistakes while keeping the hunt exciting. Another deep and different angle for this coin is how nostalgia affects collecting. A 1977 D nickel does not come from the 19th century, and it is not silver, but it still belongs to a generation of U.S. coins many people remember from childhood. That emotional connection matters more than people think. Collectors often respond not just to rarity, but to familiarity, and coins from the 70s sit in that perfect zone where viewers think, I might actually have one of those. That emotional accessibility is why this kind of coin performs well in videos. It feels reachable. It turns the treasure hunt into something personal instead of distant. The best way to end the value story honestly is to say what the market really rewards. Most 1977 D. Jefferson nickels in normal worn condition are worth 5 cents. The coins that go beyond that are the ones with better than average preservation, stronger strikes, attractive original surfaces, or a true mint error that can be clearly identified. So the real fortune is not in assuming every old nickel is rare. The real fortune is in learning how to spot the few that are different. And once a viewer understands that, they stop seeing nickels as just nickels and start seeing them as questions that need answers. That is why a 1977 D. Jefferson nickel is such a strong coin for a high-engagement video. It's common enough to be believable, old enough to feel meaningful, and detail-driven enough to turn ordinary change into a serious hunt. If someone has one, the smart move is simple. Don't clean it. Hold it by the edges. Inspect Jefferson and Monticello under strong light, and compare anything suspicious to a normal example. Most will be ordinary, but a few will stand out for the exact reasons collectors care about. And those rare exceptions are what keep the hobby alive. Next up, in 1993, D. Jefferson nickel is the kind of coin that almost nobody thinks twice about, and that is exactly why it makes such a strong hidden value story. It has all the familiar American coin language. In God We Trust, Liberty, E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, United States of America, and to most people that just means one thing, spendable money. But in the collector world, common-looking coins are often where the smartest searches begin. The power of a 1993 D nickel is not that every coin from that date is rare. The power is that modern-era nickels can still surprise collectors through preservation, strike quality, and genuine mint errors that are easy to miss if you never stop to look closely. The D Mint mark is your first clue, because it tells you the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. In everyday life, that detail feels tiny, but to collectors, it is the coin's identity code. A Philadelphia coin, a Denver coin, and a proof issue can all behave differently in the market, even when the design looks almost the same. Most 1993 D nickels were made for circulation and spent heavily, so the average example is worth face value. But the moment a coin escapes that average path, through unusually strong condition, unusual strike sharpness, or a clear manufacturing mistake, it stops being just another nickel and becomes a coin worth setting aside. What makes 1993 different from older Jefferson nickels is that it sits in a period many people still remember directly. That gives it a unique emotional advantage in videos. Viewers can imagine these nickels in school cafeteria change, vending machines, car dashboards, and old family jars from the 1990s. That familiarity creates instant connection, and connection drives engagement. It feels realistic that someone could still own one, which makes the hunt feel personal. A coin does not have to be from the 19th century to create excitement. Sometimes the most viral finds are the ones sitting closest to everyday memory. Now let's go deeper into the front of the coin before we flip it over, because the obverse tells you a lot about the coin's life. Jefferson's portrait can reveal wear in the cheek, jawline, hair, and surrounding fields. A heavily circulated coin will look flatter and duller in those areas, while a stronger coin will still show more life in the design and more original luster when tilted under light. That one move, tilting the coin under a lamp, is one of the most powerful things you can tell viewers to do, because luster often separates a spent coin from a preserved one faster than the date itself. Now for the reverse, and this is where I'll make the details feel different and more visual like you asked. The back of a 1993 D. Jefferson nickel is not just Monticello in words. It is a structure and symmetry coin. The lettering Monticello sits above the building like a title over a monument, E pluribus unum floats above it, and 5 cents with United States of America anchors the lower half like a final official seal. When the strike is strong, the whole reverse feels balanced and architectural, with cleaner building lines and sharper lettering. When the strike is weak or the coin is worn, the back loses that crisp structure and starts to look flatter, softer, and more lifeless. That makes the reverse one of the easiest places to teach viewers how to feel quality with their eyes. Another thing that makes the 1993 D reverse interesting is how quickly it shows contact. The open spaces around Monticello and the lettering can pick up marks that distract from eye appeal, and that matters because nickels often get rough treatment in circulation. A coin with a cleaner reverse can look instantly better than one with the same date and mint mark but scattered hits in dull fields. This is a strong storytelling angle, because it moves the video away from simple date hunting and into quality hunting. You are telling the audience that collector value is not just about finding the right year, it's about finding the right example of that year. Mint errors are where the coin can suddenly become a real conversation piece. A 1993 D nickel can attract attention if it shows off-center striking, where the whole design shifts and leaves blank space, especially if the date and mint mark remain visible. Broad strikes can change the shape and rim behavior. Clipped planchettes create a curved missing section that looks smooth and intentional rather than broken. Strike-through errors can leave missing details if something interfered during striking. Die cracks and cuds can show up as raised lines or lumps that were born with the coin. This is where the audience starts to understand that a bad-looking coin might not be damaged junk at all. It might be a legitimate mint-made oddity. The most valuable lesson in a script like this is the distinction between strange and special. A coin can be scratched, stained, bent, darkened, or cleaned and still not be collectible. Post-mint damage is everywhere, and the coin world is full of pieces that look dramatic but add no real premium. Machine doubling can also fool beginners by creating a flat, shelf-like look on letters that is not the same as a true doubled die. Your strongest, most trustworthy line is this: collectors pay for mistakes made at the mint, not for accidents that happen later. That one sentence protects your audience from hype while keeping the search exciting. The bicentennial treasure feeling can still support a 1993 D nickel video, even though the coin itself is not a bicentennial issue. The reason is simple. One coin inspection leads to 10 more. A viewer checks a 1993 D nickel, then starts checking bicentennial quarters, old pennies, state quarters, and dollar coins in the same jar. That expanding search is exactly why this niche works so well. The nickel becomes the spark that turns a pile of forgotten change into a full collector hunt. And that emotional chain reaction is what makes people share, comment, and come back for more. So the honest ending for a 1993 D. Jefferson nickel is this: most are worth 5 cents, but the few that rise above that do so because they are better, sharper, cleaner, or stranger in the right way. A top condition piece, a well-preserved reverse, or a genuine mint-made error can turn an ignored nickel into a coin worth keeping. That is why the smartest move is never to rush. Hold it by the edges, never clean it, study both sides under strong light, and pay close attention to how the reverse looks. Because on coins like this, the back often tells the story just as loudly as the front. The rarest coins don't always shine the brightest. Sometimes the real value hides in the smallest details, the strongest strike, or the one mistake everyone else missed. Subscribe to Legacy Coins USA for more deep coin hunts, real error checks, and hidden value stories from the coins people overlook every day.